Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Crypto Hotline, the one and only crypto hotline in the entire world. Today, I'm going to tell you about some Tangem Wallet updates that are supposed to be coming out next week, which is very exciting. I don't think Tangem has announced this publicly, but they did send me an email about it. So I'm just going to share it with you, so you know what's to come next week. Um, and a couple of these updates are super cool, and I know that some of you have probably been waiting for them. That said, Tangem is also having their sale right now, and on their website it says the sale ends tomorrow, September 6th. However, they told me it was going till September 7th, so maybe tomorrow night it ends. That said, you can get 20% off your entire Tangem Wallet order using two codes at checkout. One code is CYBERSCRILLA, the other one is Labor Day. Both of those, along with the link to this deal, is in the description of this live stream. And even if you're watching this video when that deal is over, you can still use the code CYBERSCRILLA every day of the year to get 10% off your entire order if you do end up missing that deal. That said, I want to jump right into these updates. And then after that, I'll be taking all of your questions live. So if you have any questions about Tangem, about crypto, crypto security, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and I'll be answering them here on the live stream. Hope everyone is having a great Friday. And let me pull this up. Okay. All right. So this isn't recently. Tangem just came out with the Wallet Connect update, which if you haven't seen my video about that update, go and watch it after this live stream. That was a huge update for security, made Tangem even more secure. And that, I believe, was version 5.27. A lot of people were saying, hey, my Tangem app doesn't have an update. The way you update your Tangem wallet is by going to the App Store and tapping the update button. If you don't see, if a new version of the app is released and you don't see an update button, then that probably means you have automatic updates turned on your phone. And the way you could check that is it'll either tell you, if you go to your app store, it should tell you what version of the app you're running, or if you just go into your Tangem app, tap the settings button and scroll to the bottom of the screen, it's going to show you what version is on your phone. That said, the one that's coming out next week is 5.28, so that's the one that you're going to want to look for. And there are at least 4 things that this update is going to include. And like I said, they're all decent updates, but a couple that I'm really excited for. So update number 1 is ENS support. If you don't know what ENS is, it stands for Ethereum Name Service. And this basically, if you know about it, then you'll know how to use this function. If you don't know about it, then it might not interest you. It's mainly for the Ethereum blockchain, but basically you can register your wallet address as an ENS name. So instead of the long 42 characters that starts with 0x, blah, 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 you could just create something like alex.eth, for example. Of course, the name has to be available, kind of like when you create an email. But if you have an ENS name, Tangem will now support sending crypto to ENS wallet addresses, as well as receiving crypto to your ENS name. So again, instead of having to enter, a long address, if you know someone's ENS address or their ENS name, then you can just enter that, and it makes sending crypto a lot easier and a lot clearer. So because you know exactly what you're sending to. So that's a pretty cool update. Like I said, you really only know or really care about this if you use the Ethereum network and have an ENS name. Update number 2 is Tangem is releasing full support for Hyperliquid, also known as Hype, the network, as well as the cryptocurrency. So you will be able to buy, sell, and swap Hype directly in the Tangem app. I'm not personally like a Hype fan. I don't really know much about Hype or its network, but for those of you who are involved in that ecosystem, Tangem will now fully support it. So that might be exciting for some of you. This is a big one. New staking options are always welcome. A lot of us are waiting for various coins that we can stake. One of those is TON, or Telegram's coin. There should be full staking support natively in the Tangem out coming out with this update. So we are continuing to see more staking options, which is good. And lastly is something called send via swap. Now, this is actually really cool, a really cool feature. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to send tokens to other people, even if you don't have that token in your wallet. And I'm going to show you an example here in a second, but it allows you to basically exchange that token for the token you're sending. So even, as long as you have crypto in your wallet, but you don't have the exact crypto that you're trying to send, you'll still be able to send that crypto. So here is an example. So let's say, Alice or you only have USDT in your wallet, and someone asks you to send them ETH. Well, with send via swap, Alice sends USDT, selects ETH as the recipient token, and enters Bob's ETH address. And then Alice taps sends and confirms the transaction. And basically what happens in the background is the companies that Tangem partners with are going to swap that USDT, swap it for ETH, and that way you send USDT and the recipient gets ETH. So yeah, super cool. And it makes sending crypto a lot easier, and it makes it less likely that you're going to make a mistake. Basically, if you try to send someone crypto that you don't have in your wallet. So that was like a super quick overview of this app update that should be coming out next week. I don't have an exact day. I don't know. It said early next week. I would just aim for late next week because I feel like updates are always kind of longer than companies estimate. So I would guess sometime late next week. But I'll definitely make sure to post about it once this update is finally released. And then, like I said at the beginning of this stream, the Tangem sale ends tomorrow night, I guess, and that is 20% off your entire order. Again, you just enter these two codes at checkout, CYBERSCRILLA and Labor Day, and then I'll get you 20% off your entire order. Also, if you spend more than $89, you get free shipping. There was a code, I think it was just called free shipping. You can try it, that you were able to stack with these two codes. So even if you didn't spend $89, you still got free shipping. However, before the live stream, I checked if that code was still stackable with these ones, and it is not. So currently, CYBERSCRILLA plus Labor Day is the best discount you can get. And like I said, my code CYBERSCRILLA will always get you 10% off your order, whether a sale is going on or not. So even if you miss the 20% sale, you can still get the 10% off. So yeah, that's all the major updates here. If you have any questions about the updates or the past update, like the Wallet Connect update, definitely drop your questions in the chat, and I will start answering some of these chat questions. Doesn't look like we have too many questions, but let's pull them up and see what we got. So Liberty and Truth 927 says, hopefully it's Tangem Pay. It is not Tangem Pay. The latest that we all know and have all heard about Tangem Pay is that yeah, the latest that we know about Tangem Pay is that it's supposed to be released in select countries in Europe and the UK by the end of 2025. And it won't be released to the rest of the world, like the US, probably until sometime in 2026, maybe even late 2026. So if you're waiting for Tangem Pay, just know if you're in the US at least, it's probably not coming soon. Also, if you're waiting for Tangem Pay before you buy a Tangem wallet, I would just not. And the reason being is there's no better time to secure your crypto than right now. The longer you wait to get your crypto into cold storage, the longer that it's exposed in that risk. Also, Tangem Pay, while it can be its own wallet, Tangem Pay is going to work with literally any wallet. So whether you use Ledger, Trezor, your Tangem wallet, or even hot wallets like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, you will be able to connect those wallets to Tangem Pay to spend crypto at over 90 million different Visa terminals around the world. So yeah, Tangem Pay is going to work with the wallet itself or any other wallets you have. So if you've been waiting to get a Tangem wallet, my suggestion is still get a Tangem wallet, secure your crypto now, knowing that you'll be able to connect it to Tangem Pay later if that's what you decide to do. Asan says, hi, what's going on? Thanks for joining the live stream. Eric Choi, nice to see you back on the live stream. Hi, Skrilla. I would like to know if Tangem can receive the midnight drop. Again, this is something I need to look into. You would have to tell me how the midnight drop kind of works. Like if it's something as simple as entering your receiving address, then you simply take the receiving address from your Tangem wallet and enter it into the midnight drop webpage, and that's how you'd get the drop. If you have to connect your wallet to the website and sign a transaction to receive that airdrop, that's not something I would ever recommend doing. You risk your wallet being compromised if you do that. I'd recommend setting up a completely different hot wallet and then going and claiming that drop. I don't know the specifics of the midnight drop, but usually that's the two ways that an airdrop works. You either simply enter your receiving address and they send you the crypto, or you have to basically claim it by signing a transaction using your wallet. The first option, the receiving address, that's safe to do. That's not going to risk compromising your wallet. The second option, where you have to sign a transaction on their website, that is extremely risky, as you could sign a malicious transaction and end up signing over basically access to your wallet. So that's all I have to say about that. Football Sin Corrupcion says, hey, bro, what is a trust line in the Tangem app? Is it safe? Is it safe? It pertains to XRP. I don't know what a trust line is, to be honest. So I'll have to look into that. I can do a quick search here and see if anything pops up. Yeah, there's nothing that I can find about trust line, so I'm not sure what that is. I'll definitely look into it in my free time and see what that's about. BPF says, I put an NFT in my Tangem. It works. Yep. A month or two back, Tangem did release full NFT support. So if you're into NFTs, you can enable the NFT feature in your settings, and you can now manage and see all your NFTs in your Tangem wallet if that's something that you're into. Sacco 1911 says, if I already have a 3-card set, can I add a ring later? Kinda. There's a caveat here, though. So just to be clear, you can add as many Tangem wallets to your one Tangem app as you want. All you do is go to settings and then tap add new wallet, and you just go through the setup process again with your new set of cards. So yeah, like if you had multiple sets of Tangem cards, you can add them and create different wallets in the Tangem app. Now, if you have 3 cards currently and you're trying to add an additional card or something like that, you can't technically do that because when you set up a wallet in the Tangem app, it requires a minimum of 2 cards to set up and a maximum of 3 cards per wallet in the app. That said, if you have your current Tangem wallet set up with a seed phrase, all you'd have to do when you get the ring, which also comes with 2 cards, so it basically comes with 3 backups or 3 cards. You get the ring and 2 cards. Basically, all you have to do is go into the settings, tap add new wallet, and instead of creating a new wallet with your Tangem ring, you would select other options, which is below the create wallet button. Select other options, and then import recovery phrase. And there you would just simply enter the seed phrase from your current Tangem wallet into your ring. And that'll effectively be the exact same wallet in your Tangem app. It'll be displayed in the app as 2 separate sets of cards, but they'll all be the same wallet. They'll all show the same crypto accounts, and they will all control the same crypto accounts. So that would be the one way you can do it if you want the wallet to have the same seed phrase. If your current Tangem wallet is set up as a seedless wallet without a seed phrase, then unfortunately you can't do that little hack that I just described. You're just going to have to set up your Tangem ring as its own new wallet with its own new seed phrase. Danny says, thanks for the update. Appreciate it. You're welcome, Danny. And Danny, I like your dog there in your profile picture. It looks like a good dog. Liberty and Truth says, thanks. Hindi translation, that's not something that I can help you with. That is up to YouTube. If you want to see Hindi translation, you can enable that yourself by going to the gear icon on the video player and then select auto dubbing and select your language. If the language is not available, that's something that YouTube needs to fix. It's not anything I can enable on my end. Safao says, do you work with Tangem? I'm not employed by Tangem. I'm not paid by Tangem to create any content. I've never been sponsored or paid by Tangem to make a video. The only way that I get paid from any wallet manufacturer, and basically all of them, is I'm an affiliate partner. So basically I go and I sign up for their affiliate program. And then if you use my link, I earn a small commission if you purchase a wallet using the link at no additional cost to you. And that's the only way that I work with these wallet companies. So LT Man from Chi-Town, great to see you again, brother. Do you recommend having two wallets or is one fine? That's really up to you. And if you feel safe keeping all of your crypto in the same wallet, if you have whatever is a large amount of crypto to you, I personally always recommend diversifying your crypto into multiple wallets. And when I say multiple wallets, all I really mean is diversifying into different seed phrases. You could technically do that using one hardware wallet. However, you can only access one seed phrase at a time with the hardware wallet, which makes it kind of a pain. So it's usually easier to just buy separate hardware wallets with their own seed phrase so that you can easily access your different wallets. So yeah, it's really up to you. If you have a significant amount of crypto, again, that could be $1,000, it could be $10,000, $1 million, whatever a significant amount means to you, then I would definitely recommend diversifying your crypto into multiple wallets. That's never a bad idea. AJV says, do you think Tangem will ever support Monero? I think if enough people request it and they can technically do it, like they actually have the means to do it, then they would do it. Shout out to Anthony. Best wishes from Australia. Anthony is one of our most dedicated subscribers on the channel. He comments on every video and lately every live stream. So shout out to Anthony. I appreciate you. Already answered that question. DDG says, the only free thing in this world is the cheese from the mousetrap. Don't trust free things. Alrighty. Charles said, my Tangem ring slid apart. Is this common? So on the earlier batches of the Tangem ring, there were some reports of the rings shattering. So if this was from one of the earlier batches, then it's not unheard of. That said, you should just reach out to Tangem. Their products come with a 25-year product replacement warranty. So if it just shattered on its own, then they will send you a replacement. At least you still have your backup cards. And as far as I know, the new batches of rings that they produced do not have this issue. That said, I've been wearing my rings since Tangem came out with them. I haven't personally had any issues with my ring, and I've beat it up pretty good. Addison says, does Tangem support X stock? That I don't know. Could try to search here real quick. It doesn't look like it does, but I don't know for sure. Let me check the website real quick and see if it's on their support page. So if you're talking about the Tesla X stock or TSLAX, that token, yes, Tangem does support X stock. I just checked their website. If you want to go check for yourself, all you do is type in your browser tangem.com, and then you scroll about halfway down the page, and you'll see a spot that says access to thousands of cryptocurrencies, and you're going to want to tap there, and you can search for whatever token you want. In fact, if you'd like, I could probably just let me just bring up this screen, and I'll show you what that looks like. Just for anyone who's wondering, if you ever want to check what tokens and networks Tangem supports, this is exactly how you will do it. Okay. Okay, so like I said, let me make this a little bigger. Let me hide this. So like I said, here I am on tangem.com. And all you have to do is, this is the main web page. If you scroll down, it's about halfway. Right here, it says access to thousands of cryptocurrencies. And then, you just type in whatever you want. You could type in like Dogecoin, and you could see here the network that it's supported on the right-hand side, and then the cryptocurrencies on the left. But for X stock, you can see it's Tesla X stock, or TSLAX. It's supported on Ethereum, BNB Smart Chain, Solana, and Arbitrum 1. So yeah, that's how you would check that out, in case you're wondering. Sacco1911 says, thank you, you're welcome. Football Sin Corrupción says, it asked me to establish a trust like to add RLUSD coin on my Tangem app. You might be referring to just where it asks you to scan your card to verify the like adding the coin. When you're adding a new network, the Tangem wallet has you do that, so it might just be that. If it is that, you just tap the button, scan your card, and it'll add that token to your tokens tab. Just Denny says, Tangem, get this man a raise ASAP. I wish. But like I said, I'm not on any kind of payroll, so they can't really give me a raise. Safao, I already went through the 4 updates that are coming out with Tangem. If you missed it, you'll just have to rewatch the beginning of this live stream. I go over all those updates very quickly. Just Danny says, I was able to get a discount with your code. Thank you. Dangerous Dave, I used your tutorial when I first bought my Tangem. It helped me greatly. Much appreciated. Super happy to hear that, Dave. If anyone has any questions about specifically Tangem wallets, I have an entire playlist on my channel. If you go and watch all those videos, you will literally be a Tangem wallet expert. So if you have any questions, especially one of my most recent ones where I answer 40 Tangem wallet questions, probably one of my favorite videos that I've done. I answer a lot of common Tangem wallet questions in that video. Just Denny says, so did I. Nice. Dave, Tangem Pay, any updates? Already went over the Tangem Pay update. The last that we heard is it will be released in select countries by the end of this year. Europe and UK. If you're in the US and you're waiting, you're probably going to be waiting a lot longer. We don't really have any set date or time, just estimates. When it comes to something like Tangem Pay, which requires centralized entities like banks, Visa, you're not just dealing with like technical implementations, you're dealing with regulations and a bunch of legal requirements, and all that stuff always takes a long time. But best believe Tangem is probably one of their top priorities, but they can only move as fast as regulations and the legal system moves. So LT Man says, thanks for always responding. Thanks for the heads up. Of course, happy to help. Addison, already answered your question. Yes, Tangem does support X stock. Oscarito says, if you were to learn liquidity pool mining or staking, how would you go about learning this? Well, if you're looking to learn how to stake crypto, I have a video on my channel that I just published. If you just type in YouTube, how to stake crypto, in that video, I go over exactly what staking is, kind of how it works, the pros and cons, as well as the risks of staking. And then I show you how to stake crypto using the Tangem wallet. So that's where I would start. As far as liquidity pool mining, I would probably start on YouTube. Just be extremely careful on clicking links and stuff in the description of those videos because you don't want to land on a malicious website. So maybe just look for like a super educational video and not necessarily someone shilling a specific liquidity mining pool. that said, if there is a liquidity mining pool in the YouTube video, go beyond the video and research it yourself to make sure that it's legit before you do anything crazy. Bill says, thank you, sir. You are welcome. Addison says, thank you. No problem. Oscarito says, I have the Tangem ring. Thanks to you. I love this wallet. Super glad to hear that. Let me just check here. I have someone coming to fix a rock chip on my windshield because I was driving on the freeway today and I heard a loud crack, which was super bizarre because there were like the closest car in front of me was probably, I don't know, like maybe an eighth or a quarter mile ahead. And I just heard a loud crack. And I didn't quite see it when I was driving. I saw something and I was like, oh, I think that's just a bug splatter. And then I got home and realized that, yeah, it made a big old chip in my windshield. So I have someone coming out to fix that chip. And he's coming from another city because I'm kind of way out here in the country. So yeah, just waiting on that. Nico says, good day, sir. How you doing? XRP staking would be nice on Tangem. Yes, I believe, again, they're working on more staking options. Like I said, for this update that's coming out next week, you will be able to stake TON. So that's a new staking feature. So just know that there are still new coins coming out or staking for coins. So you just have to be patient. Skrilla, let me explain what I meant before. Every time I wanted to add a token to my app, it had to add the token and then it required me to scan the card. And now it asks for a trust line. So yeah, the scanning the card part is completely normal. I have never seen something called a trust line. So I'll have to look into that. Darren says, is Tangem out of the Caspa editions? Don't see it on the page. Let me check. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like Darren, it looks like they have plenty of Caspa editions left. And all you have to do, I can show you. Let me share my screen with you. And I'll show you how to find the Caspa edition wallets if that's something that you want to do. So I just go to Google and then type in Tangem Caspa cards. Tangem Caspa cards, and then scroll down and there's Caspa wallet order. And it says that there are 1,400 wallets left. And then, select how many you want, tap order now, and then make sure to add the promo codes here on the right-hand side because it looks like they'll still apply even to these ones. So CYBERSCRILLA, that will get you 10% off. And let's see if the Labor Day one works on this. So Labor Day doesn't work on the Tangem, on the Caspa ones, but if you use code CYBERSCRILLA, you can get 10% off. Let's try free shipping, see if that one works. Okay, they might have just completely removed that code. So yeah, looks like they do have the Caspa editions, but again, you'll have to just use the code CYBERSCRILLA for 10% off. Addison says, thank you, you're welcome. Charles said, I did get a replacement ring and 2 new cards from Tangem. It did not shatter the ring upper and lower, separated, has epoxy holding the 2 halves together. So did 2 rings shatter? Did you get a replacement and that one shattered as well? Or I guess I'm confused if the first one shattered and you got the replacement and it's good now. Because like I said, I think the newer batches, they paused production of the rings for a while, and I think they were sorting out that issue. So I think any of the new rings that came out should be good to go. Wings of Silence says there's a lot of people who say you should not use your HODL wallet in DeFi, but I don't see the risk. It's not possible to drain Bitcoin using Ledger Ethereum app, right? Actually, that's wrong, and I'm one of the people that actually says that probably more than anyone. You don't want to use your main HODL or your main wallet where all your crypto is stored to interact with DeFi. Reason being is when you interact with DeFi, you sign smart contracts, which are cryptographic contracts. For example, when you swap crypto, you're basically signing a contract that says, we're going to take this crypto from your wallet, and in exchange, we're going to give you this crypto. And that is a digital contract that you're signing. Now, when you sign a lot of these contracts or when you interact with DeFi platforms, you're also agreeing to a spend approval. And a lot of these spend approvals give the platform unlimited access to that specific account in your wallet. And the reason it does this is so that anytime you interact with that platform, it'll basically be able to take the crypto and do the transaction that you're asking it to do. The problem is if the platform you're interacting with is malicious, or if it's ever compromised, which can happen later on, that spend approval is set to unlimited. So, for example, if the platform was compromised, then someone could come in and actually take all of your crypto from your account, and this is called a malicious smart contract approval. And that's why it is not recommended to ever connect your main HODL wallet to any DeFi platforms, because again, you're literally signing over access to that account in your wallet. And once you do that, they don't need your wallet to gain access to it or to move crypto around because you already granted them access. Sacco 1911 says he's doing some stuff and asking how quickly have you seen Tangem add new tokens to their list? Tangem is probably the quickest wallet on the market to add new tokens. I'd say like next to Ledger. So yeah, Tangem, if there's enough community feedback and everyone is asking, or if it's just like a popular token, then more than likely Tangem will add it. It could be the very next day, or the weeks following is what I've seen lately. So when will Tangem offer multiple Bitcoin receiving addresses? Long overdue. Okay, so it is still on their roadmap to offer multiple receiving addresses for all your cryptocurrency, not just Bitcoin. This is further down the pipeline, the last I heard. That said, there's another feature coming out that I can't tell you too much about because they kind of told me this in privacy, but that will achieve basically the same thing, and it will come out before the actual multiple receiving address thing. And when I have more information about that, and when there is an official like app update coming, I will definitely let you know. And it is coming soon, from what I've heard, for this undisclosed update that I'm talking about, which is going to be super awesome. And again, you don't have to buy like new Tangem cards to get access to the updates. All you're going to need to do is update your Tangem app, just like with any new features they release. Ed says Tangem, they don't allow staking ETH. No, they don't offer native ETH staking yet. Maybe in the future, but not at the moment. Brian says that happened to me. It came from a car in the opposing lane. Yeah, like when I heard the chip hit the rock hit my window, it was basically just me in the very left lane, and all the cars were like way out in front of me. So I really don't know where it came from. But it is unfortunate because the windshield on my car was really untouched. Had bug splatters on it, but didn't have any cracks on it. Now it's got the dang chip. Also, I'm curious if anyone's ever gotten a rock chip repaired, because I never have. I just usually let it grow into a crack until I can't see. They advertise it as a free rock chip repair because you report it to your insurance. My question is, does that raise my insurance? Because if it does, then I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to pay the flat fee or whatever they charge me to fix it, because that would be ridiculous. Got my Tangem cards wallet all set up, and moving from Uphold to Tangem was a breeze. Thanks for sharing your experience. Super happy to hear that, especially with Uphold, because I have heard a lot of people have issues sending crypto from Uphold specifically to external wallets. So yeah, I'm glad that it worked out for you, and I'm happy that sounds like it went smooth and you didn't experience any issues. Kevin says, good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. Good afternoon, Kevin, and thank you for joining us here on the Crypto Hotline. If you're just tuning in and you're wondering about the updates, I went over, there's 4 updates that Tangem is coming out with next week. I went over those 4 updates very quickly in the beginning of this live stream. So if you just want to catch that, just watch it's probably like the first 5 minutes of this live stream, and you'll know exactly what's to come in the app update, which will be version 5.28. And again, that should be released next week. Darren says, okay, perfect. Thank you. You're welcome. Wings of Silence says, is it possible to derive all wallet addresses from a single seed phrase, or is that impossible to find out? I'm not sure what you mean by derive, but your seed phrase is the master key to all your wallet addresses. So if your wallet holds Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, the seed phrase encompasses all of those addresses, if that's what you're asking. Jason Wong says, my Tangem changes into Japanese sometimes when I log in. Very suspicious. My question would be, if you're hooked up to, if you have a VPN on your device, that would do it. So I would maybe check that. Safo says, can you give us tips or tricks that we probably never knew on Tangem? I actually have a video. If you type it in on YouTube, it's called Tangem Wallet Tips and Tricks. I would go watch that video. There are some, there's a lot of settings in the Tangem app. Some that have to do with security, some that have to do with usability. But it's really, you really need to go watch the video to actually see the visual, because I'm showing you on screen, which I can't really do here on the live stream. So I would go watch that video after you're done here with the live stream. Austin says, you were absolutely the best about this. I can't thank you enough. Your content is priceless. Thank you for saying that, Austin. I definitely don't think I'm the best, but as long as I'm helping at least like one person per live stream, that's all that really matters to me. Obviously, my goal is to help everyone I interact with, but I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Jason Wong thing because of your last name. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it's probably a network thing. Metalhead XMR says, Metalhead, I like your truck in your profile picture. Is that a GMC? It looks like a GMC. I love the look of GMC trucks. Metalhead says, is owning one Tangem wallet okay, or is it better to use multiple? Someone else asked this question earlier, and that really depends. So personally, I have 7 sets of Tangem wallets, partially because I do, diversify my crypto, and partially because I just like to get new sets when they come out with like a new design. That said, I have over 30 hardware wallets total. Again, part of that is because I diversify my crypto, and the other side of that is like, this is my job, is to test and review hardware wallets, and to help you guys, find the right ones for you. That said, if you have a significant amount of crypto, then I would recommend diversifying it into different wallets with different seed phrases. Now, a significant amount of crypto, to you, that could be $1,000, $10,000, $1 million. Only you can decide that. But yeah, if you don't feel comfortable keeping everything in one wallet, not necessarily because the wallet isn't secure, but you just don't want to slip up and make a mistake one day, then it's definitely a good idea to check that out. Jason says maybe, but his last name is Chinese, it's not Japanese, so he got you on that one. Austin, this is a good question. Austin asks, is there a maximum amount of crypto these hardware wallets can handle, Tangem or Ledger? Okay, so a couple caveats here. To quickly answer your question, the answer is no. There is no limit to how much crypto you can secure using a Tangem wallet, or sorry, any wallet. Even if you had $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin, you could technically secure it all using one wallet. There's no limitations. That said, cold wallets, crypto wallets, even crypto exchanges, none of these platforms or tools actually hold crypto. Like Tangem, Ledger, they don't hold any crypto. Coinbase, Kraken, they don't hold any crypto. All crypto, every single cryptocurrency exists in one place, and that's on the blockchain network. All wallets are tools that are used to generate, access, store, and manage the keys that are used to access your accounts on the blockchain. And that's why there's no limitations. So yeah, you can store as much crypto as you want in your wallet. That's in your wallet. That's just like a common phrase people use, even though it's not technically in your wallet. It is. It's just your wallet on the blockchain, and you're using these tools to basically access that wallet. So it's just common to say crypto in your wallet. Anyways, that said, with something like Ledger, Ledger is one of the only wallets that makes you download the cryptocurrency app onto the actual hardware, so onto the actual hardware wallet. So when it comes to Ledger wallets, there is limited space on the actual devices. So you can only download, depending on which apps you're downloading, between, I'd say, 12 and about 60 cryptocurrency network apps onto the hardware wallet. Which there's still no limits to how much crypto you can hold, only limits to how many networks you can access at one time. I don't think a lot of people hit that limit, because I don't think too many people aren't using like 50 different blockchain networks. Maybe, I'm sure some people are. I know some people are, but a lot of people just hold like, they have 5 or maybe 10 different networks that they're actively interacting with. So there shouldn't be any issues with that. With Ledger, basically what you'd have to do if you exceeded the limits is you'd have to remove one of the apps, install the other app to access that crypto, and then just basically keep doing that. But again, that's really unique and specific to Ledger. That's not something you have to worry about with Tangem or really any other wallet. Oscarito says, Tangem is the best. I think Tangem is one of the best, especially for beginners, and for how innovative they are, for how user-friendly they are. So I would agree that Tangem is definitely, I'd say, a top 3 in the wallet space. Jason says he needs a Tangem ring in his life. Well, Jason, if you need a Tangem ring and you have the means to do it, I think today would be the best day to do it, or tomorrow, considering the sale. The last day for the sale is tomorrow, and you get 20% off the ring. Plus, you'll get free shipping since it's over $89. And again, just use the codes on screen here. So if you are serious about getting the Tangem ring, yeah, today would be a good day to do it. BV Bucket says, what's your opinion on Webull versus Coinbase? I've never used Webull. Coinbase is absolute trash. I wouldn't trust it to even buy my crypto anymore. I used Coinbase for years. They froze my funds, and I didn't do anything different. They also froze my friend's account. They locked his account for an entire year. And they are the most sensitive crypto exchange probably in the world as far as like freezing and locking accounts. Personally, I use Kraken. So that's all I have to say. Anderson says, I bought a Tangem wallet and I must admit I'm a little upset because whenever I try to create new wallets within Tangem, a message pops up saying that I show a new wallet without actually creating one. Anderson, I don't know what you mean by creating a new wallet. If you're talking about the initial setup, well, you only do that once, and once you go through those steps, you're good to go. You never have to deal with that again. So I guess I'm just kind of confused with what you mean. Maybe it is during the setup process, but I would need more information. But it sounds like it might be user error, which it happens. It's not the easiest thing to do for everyone, especially if you've never done it before. So if you could provide more information, obviously don't share anything private, but kind of like why or how you're experiencing the issue, then I might be able to troubleshoot it here on the crypto hotline because that's what we do. Charles says, just the one ring. Wish I could post a picture here. The ring is upper and lower glued together like a smaller. Okay. Yeah, I got you. So the original ring sounds like it broke apart. They sent you a new one, and that one's been good. So yeah, like I said, the first batch of Tangem rings had, I guess some of them had issues. So it sounds like they've fixed it since. Wings of Silence says, if someone knows a wallet's receiving address, is it possible to derive or discover other wallet addresses associated with the same wallet, or are these addresses private and not linked publicly? Yes, of course there are ways to look at other wallet addresses. Everything you do with your wallet is tracked on the blockchain. The blockchain is literally a digital public ledger of transactions. So let me just give you a quick example. You send crypto from your Coinbase account to your Tangem wallet. That is shown on the blockchain. Let's say you then transfer your crypto from your Tangem wallet to your Ledger wallet. That is also recorded on the blockchain. Anyone who knows your wallet address can go and see basically, where the crypto started from. It doesn't well, actually probably does say Coinbase, and then it just sees addresses from there. Now, as far as addresses on different networks, that could be more difficult to discover, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. But yeah, everything that you do in crypto, unless you're using like a privacy network like Monero, everything you do is public. Anyone can view it. And especially if you're someone who knows how to read the blockchain, especially if you're a blockchain analyst or a blockchain investigator, which I would argue there's not too many of those in the world at this point, but there are some really good ones like Zach XBT. They can pretty much track anything down on the blockchain because it's all traced, it's all tracked, and it's all public. So yeah. Brian says rock chip. They do a great job. Depends on the type of chip. Most insurance companies don't penalize for rock chip repairs. Okay, maybe I'll just call my insurance and ask. But yeah, like I said, I've never done a rock chip repair, so it's super small. It's smaller than a dime, so I'm hoping that it doesn't ever spread to a larger crack. I'm assuming once they repair it, that's kind of the point, is it doesn't spread. I hope. Actually, I just got a message from the rock chip repair guy saying he'll be here in a bit, so we still have some time. So if you have your questions, get them in right now, because once my rock chip guy shows up, I'm skedaddling out of here. Amit says, if I leave Tangem connected to the Uniswap, Cow protocol, or Aerodrome website because I do a lot of swaps regularly, can they drain my tokens without my hardware? Okay, so a couple things here. The quick answer is, well, actually, it's a yes and no answer. It depends. So when you connect your wallet to a website, like a protocol like Uniswap, there's a button that says Connect Wallet. When you select that button, you're not actually giving any kind of access or signing any contracts to your wallet. All you're doing when you connect your wallet is giving the platform, again, this is usually the case, like view only access to your wallet, so that it can see what crypto you have in your wallet, so that it can basically, tell you, if you swap this crypto for this one, this is what you'll get. So usually connecting it isn't an issue. That said, the issue is when you actually sign transactions. So to use Uniswap, you're signing transactions, and you're signing a token approval, or a spend approval, sorry. That spend approval, it stays. It doesn't disappear. Even if you disconnect your wallet from the website, that contract is still signed on the blockchain, and that approval remains open. So just disconnecting your wallet from a website doesn't make it so it can't be compromised if the that spend approval was compromised or if it was malicious. What you would actually need to do is go to a website like revoke.cash, and that allows you to revoke contract approvals. And that's the only way to make it so that you're not at risk of your wallet being hacked, basically. And that's exactly why I recommend just don't connect your wallet in the first place, because then you have to do all these revocations and or whatever. And you actually have to pay for those because they are blockchain transactions. So then you're paying network fees just to revoke transaction approvals. So not only can it get expensive, it's a pain in the butt, and it can just be avoided by using a completely separate wallet. So again, just to clarify, simply connecting your wallet to a website generally doesn't compromise it. However, when you're signing those transactions and signing smart contract approvals, you are putting your wallet at risk. And that's why I recommend using a different wallet that's not your main cold storage wallet. Hopefully that answered your question. Preston says, why can't we sell HBAR from our Tangem wallet? Preston, this is a couple things. So first off, Tangem uses third-party providers to offer their buy, sell, swap, and stake features. So if that provider isn't available in the area you live, because certain jurisdictions, certain countries, they don't allow you to use certain cryptocurrency exchanges. So if the area you live in doesn't allow for the third parties that Tangem uses, then you won't be able to use their services. You'll have to transfer your HBAR externally to somewhere that you can use wherever you live. So that's probably the main reason. The other thing I will say is I'm assuming you have HBAR in your wallet. And if you do have HBAR in your wallet and it was available to sell in your area, then obviously you'd be able to tap the sell button. That said, if you don't have HBAR in your wallet and you just were trying to check if you could sell it, if you put it in there, it will be grayed out until you actually put HBAR into the wallet. So yeah, my guess is that wherever you live probably doesn't support the exchange that Tangem has partnered with to sell the HBAR. That's my guess. So just to clarify, Preston, if you want to sell your HBAR, just send it to an external exchange and sell it there. This is what I do personally. Like I can sell most cryptos directly through Tangem Wallet. I can buy, sell, and swap. However, because the fees are higher, they're basically convenience fees that you're paying to these third-party exchanges. I just choose to use my preferred crypto exchange, and it's just as easy. It's probably quicker, honestly. I just send the crypto to my Kraken account, and then I'd sell it instantly on their platform. And if I withdraw it to my bank account before 2 p.m. Eastern time, it'll be in my bank account that same day. So that's kind of my preference. I will say that swapping in Tangem is comparable to swapping on an exchange. So if you want to swap, the rates are pretty good. However, when it comes to buying and selling, I really don't use Tangem to buy and sell crypto. I prefer to send to my own exchange. So Charles was clarifying that he did pre-order the ring, so it was the early batch. And like we were mentioning, the early batches had some production issues where some of them were coming apart, but they have fixed those issues in the later batches, as far as I know. Keith and Chief says, no, I mean, you do have the physical card to move anything. Again, not true if you sign a malicious contract approval. Metalhead XMR says, thanks for the answer. And yes, love your GMC 3500 diesel dream on wheels. Heck yeah. My old job, my boss had, it wasn't a 3500. I think it might have been actually, because he did a lot of towing. It was either a 2500 or a 3500 diesel. And it was all black. It was a sweet truck. And maybe one day I'll have one, maybe not, but super cool truck. So congrats on that. Wings of Silence says, I still have a Ledger Nano S and it actually is working great. Do you see any risk holding the key on such an old device? So I'm assuming you're talking about the original Ledger Nano S and not the newer S Plus. So Ledger did announce that they stopped supporting firmware updates for the Ledger Nano S. So while you can still use the Ledger Nano S without any issues, and it'll still work on Ledger Live, you're not getting any usability updates whenever they come out with updates, or security updates if they ever come out with a security update. So that would be something I would consider. Personally, I would probably move on to, I'd probably get a different wallet. That's just my personal preference. So yeah, like you said, you still are using it without issue, which, and I'm sure it's still securing your crypto fine. I'm just saying more like future proofing and thinking ahead. If Ledger were to ever come out with some kind of crazy security update that maybe patch something, you wouldn't be able to do that because you're using a non-supported device. Benga says, would you save the card on your phone so you don't need the card to open it? Personally, I do, because you'll still need the card anytime you want to transact. Also, there are a bunch of other security features that I have enabled that would prevent someone from even opening the app. Obviously, they'd have to get access to my phone first, which they'll have to enter a code. Then they'll have to get access to my Tangem app, which they're going to have to use biometrics. So that's already two defense mechanisms. And then, like I said, even if they get past both of those, they still won't be able to do any transactions because they won't have the physical card. And then even if they have the physical card, they still don't have my access code. So yeah, personally, I have it saved in the app. That's just how I like to do it. Valerie says, what do you think of the EliPal card? I think it's a good idea. And I actually made a review. I don't know if you've seen my review, Valerie, but if you type in on YouTube, EliPal card review, my video will probably pop up first. I like the idea. I think it's cool that they use a separate device to generate the keys. So you can, record the seed phrase from that separate device. However, if I had to choose between Tangem and the X card, I'm going to choose Tangem 10 times out of 10. I just think it's the better wallet. I think the app is better. They support more cryptocurrencies. And I just like Tangem as a company better for certain reasons. So that said, like I'm not opposed to using the X card. I wouldn't go as far as to say that I wouldn't trust it to secure my crypto, because I do. I'm just saying if I had to choose between the X card and Tangem wallet, I'm going to choose Tangem, and I have chosen Tangem. That's why I have 7 sets of Tangem cards and only one X card. Darren says, have you got a Discord? I do not have a Discord. Yeah, I don't have any groups or anything like that. If anyone ever reaches out to you claiming to be CyberScrilla, just know that it's a scam. I never reach out to anyone. I don't have any paid groups. I don't have any courses. I don't have anything like that. Really, my main form of communication is here on YouTube, as well as Twitter. We're live on Twitter or X right now, so shout out to all my viewers over there. And yeah. Nato says, what is different with the Caspa wallet? The Caspa wallet, I mean, obviously it's the Caspa design. And as far as I know, I believe that wallet, and I could be wrong, but I don't personally have one. But as far as I know, no, yeah, it's just the design. The Caspa wallet is just a Caspa designed card. It looks like it still supports all the same cryptocurrencies as the normal, Tangem wallet. The one thing I'm wondering, yeah, it's literally exactly the same. It's just a different design. So if you like Caspa and you want your card to say Caspa on it, then you'd go with that one. Samsung Apple, another OG on the channel. Shout out to Samsung Apple. What's going on? Thanks for joining us on the live. Check this out. I got this a while ago, actually with my hat. Again, it's a Tangem. It's a Tangem water bottle. And I am trying to, I'm going to see if I can get some swag to give away on the live streams. I'll probably start at Tangem and see if they have anything to give away. Like, I got all this stuff because I guess they had some left over from a conference they did. I think it was earlier this year or end of last year. And so they just like sent me a goodie bag, basically. I've used the crap out of his hat. It's got like, I think it's like sweat and sun stains on it. I don't know. But yeah, anyways. Rawling says, how come they haven't added staking for ETH yet on Tangem? I would have thought they made this a priority compared to others, seeing that almost all other places allow you to stake ETH. That I don't have an answer for. I'm not sure. Like if there's I'm not sure the technicalities of adding staking or anything like that. So I don't have an answer for you. Keith and Chief with the thumbs up. Crypto Potato, one of my favorite really names on YouTube and profile picture. A cute little potato. I mean, come on. Loving my One Key Peer 1S. Love the One Key interface. One Key does have a good interface. I do like their app. I like their mobile app. I like their desktop app. And I do like One Key wallets. Even though they are backed by Coinbase, which is like, I despise Coinbase. I really do like One Key wallets, and I'd say One Key is a top 5 wallet manufacturer in my opinion. Also, I still haven't opened it. I have the One Key here. Right here, just been so busy with life. So yeah, also something that I know a lot of you waiting for. I have this is a crypto wallet phone, the Solana Seeker. I made a short, it was just an unboxing video, a little teaser, but this is literally a crypto wallet phone for Solana. Review will be coming out once, obviously I have to test this stuff first before I review it, right? Like I could come out with a review the same day, but then it's not really a review because I like to actually use stuff before. But it's like a legit phone. Let's see if I can, like it's got, it's legit. But it has a built-in crypto wallet, which is pretty cool. Tash says, what is better, Ledger or Tangem for crypto that uses Ethereum virtual machine? Really, both are good for Ethereum virtual machine. They both support all EVM tokens and Wallet Connect for EVM platforms. So I say you can't go wrong with either one. It really just comes down to like what kind of wallet you prefer. Tangem doesn't require any charging. All you need to use it is your phone and the card. Ledger, you could also just use with the device and your phone. It does it through Bluetooth. So yeah, it really just kind of depends, but they both work well for EVM. Benga says, thanks, you're welcome. Tab says, when will Tangem Pay be out? I've already covered this twice, but I'll just quickly mention it again. The last we heard is Tangem Pay will be released in select countries, I believe Europe and the UK, end of 2025. That's the goal. There's no set date yet. If you're somewhere else, like in the US, I would expect later in 2026. That said, all wallets will work with Tangem Pay. So whether you have a Tangem, a Ledger, a Trezor, a One Key, a Keystone, a MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Exodus, you're going to be able to use those wallets with your Tangem Pay card or the Tangem Pay app if you want to. So if you're holding out on getting a Tangem wallet, no need to hold out. You'll be able to use your Tangem wallet with Tangem Pay. Again, if that's what you want to do, I'll probably either connect my Tangem Pay to like a dedicated cold wallet that I use just for Tangem Pay, or maybe just use the Tangem Pay card as its own wallet. Haven't decided yet because I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but I am excited to learn more about it. By the way, if you're just joining, there is new Tangem. Tangem is coming out with new updates next week for the Tangem app. 4 updates to be exact. Let's see if I can remember what they were. I'll probably have to go back on my slide here and I'll just go over it just like a quick 30-second. This is what we went over. So update number 1 is ENS support or Ethereum name server or name service. If you know what EVM is, it basically allows you to turn your Ethereum address into a human readable version, something like alex.eth versus the 42 character long address. So it will support sending and receiving crypto to ENS addresses. Update number 2 is Hyperliquid. It will support the Hyperliquid network and the Hype token or the Hype coin, which includes buying, selling, and swapping that specific crypto. Update number 3 is TON staking. So you could stake your TON natively in the Tangem app. And update number 4 is something called send via swap, which allows you to send tokens to other people that you don't even own. And the way that this works is, I have an example here. Maybe I should make this bigger. So this is how it works. Let's say you only have USDT in your Tangem wallet, and someone asks you to send them ETH. Well, you can actually send via swap. So you'll send your USDT, and when you send it, you can select Ethereum as the recipient token, and then enter the recipient's Ethereum address. And what happens in the background is that it actually swaps your USDT for ETH, so that even though you sent one kind of cryptocurrency, the person on the receiving end is receiving another kind. And this makes it just super convenient to send crypto. And it also makes it less likely that you'll make mistakes sending the wrong crypto to the wrong network address. Huge update. Yeah, I think it's awesome. So that's what you can expect. This will be, again, version 5.28. For those of you who are wondering like how to update your Tangem wallet, all you need to do is update the Tangem app on your mobile device. So the way you would update any app on your phone, if you go to your app store and you notice that there isn't an update, then that means you have the automatic updates turned on your device. So it does it automatically for you. Again, this update isn't out until next week. At least that's what Tangem said. I'll make sure to announce it once it is released. And the way you can check if you're running or which version you're running is you can go to the App Store and it should tell you which one you have. Also, if you just go into your Tangem app, tap the 3 little settings button, and then scroll down to the bottom of the screen, it'll tell you the 5.27 is the most recent one. So that's the best way to check. Additionally, Tangem's sale is ending tomorrow, and it is 20% off your entire order, which is one of the best deals they do. And all you have to do is enter 2 codes at checkout, CYBERSCRILLA and Labor Day. Those are both worth 10%. You get 20% off. And then if you spend over $89, so if you buy a ring or if you buy 2 sets of cards, basically you get free shipping. That said, even if you're watching this later and or you just missed the sale, you can always use code CYBERSCRILLA to get 10% off your entire order. And I believe they will still offer free shipping on orders over $89. So you can always get 10% off and free shipping even once the sale ends. So just a little heads up there. Okay, back to the chat. Looks. We do have a super chat from Kevin. Thank you so much, Kevin. Very generous of you. And Kevin asked, any update about more native staking tokens? Like I just went over, the new update will be native staking for the TON network and for TON coin. That said, there are a bunch of coins that Tangem is going to come out with native staking for. And let me see if I can pull that list up very quickly. So currently, Tangem supports native staking for Solana, Atom, Tron, BNB, and Polygon, and then next week, TON. But where is the list of let's see, Tangem native staking options. So soon, it looks like they're going to add Cardano, Avalanche, Near, Tezos, Chronos, and Kava. So those are basically the ones on their roadmap. So yeah, we are still seeing coins roll out for native staking. It's definitely not the quickest rollout, but nonetheless, they are still working on it, which is a positive sign. So thank you, Kevin, again for your super chat there, and hopefully that answered your question. CDS says, can you do a video on all the new current seed phrase stainless steel plates? Thank you. I will definitely look into that. However, I have used several, and still my go-to stainless steel plate which I have a review on my channel, is the Keystone plate. You can just type in Keystone Tablet Plus on Google, and this will take you to Keystone's website. And this is 304 stainless steel. It's super thick. I mean, you could throw this through a wall. It is fire resistant up to like 5,000 degrees, and it's corrosion proof. And yeah, you can use my discount code CYBERSCRILLA on Keystone's website if you do want to get that. And the Keystone Tablet Plus supports a 24-word seed phrase or 2 12-word seed phrases, basically. So let me just check some things here. Bear with me. Just seeing how far out this rock chip repair guy is. Let's see. Turn my funnel up. Okay, we're looking good. So once this guy does show up, I'm going to have to skedaddle. So trying to get through all these questions super quick. Switch over to Kraken per your advice, and it's much better than Uphold. I like the daily free spins. Awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying Kraken as much as I am. Amit says, question 1, Tangem is the easiest wallet to use. Can you suggest anything as easy as Tangem? No, I can't. Tangem is literally the easiest wallet. Runner-up would be the Ledger Flex. Still a slight step up, but still pretty easy. I like how the Ledger Flex walks you through the entire setup process and tells you what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then question number 2 is, what's the top 3 hardware wallets to store my Bitcoin, ETH, and SOL for long-term, 5 to 10 years, store and forget? I mean, my top 3 wallets in my like day-to-day use would be, in no specific order, Tangem, Ledger, Trezor, and then I throw in one key as an additional one. But as far as like for people who say long-term use, it's really hard to like, but who knows if these wallets will even, if they'll be obsolete in 5 to 10 years, because these wallets rely on blockchain technology, the blockchain itself, and they just basically implement that technology into the wallet software. It really is dependent on where blockchain technology goes, and if any of these networks change, if the wallets will be able to implement these changes easily, or if they'll have to create a completely new wallet. So yeah, I mean, as of now, and from what we've seen, you can use the same wallet for like at least, I'd say 5 years. But usually after 5 years is when new security things come out. The half-life, if you want to call it that, of like security components and stuff. Usually every 5 years, there's advancements in security. I'm not saying that's always the case. That's just how it seems to happen. So I would say that Tangem has the longest, technically the longest lifespan. Their wallets are designed to last up to 25 years, which is why they have a 25-year product replacement warranty. And they're obviously super durable because it's just a, where's my Tangem wallet? It's just a card. You know, there's no screen or anything. It's durable. You can bend it, twist it, whatever. So yeah, that's what I got to say. Crypto Potato says, some are flooding the Tangem wallet due to displaying the seed phrase on the phone, and better idea to use seedless. Thoughts. Really personal preference. I don't think the way that the Tangem app is created, I don't think it's a risk. The seed phrase is not stored on the phone or in the app. It's only briefly displayed long enough for you to write it down, and then it's completely erased once you move on to the next step, basically, and activate the cards. Also, the Tangem app is designed with all this in mind, right? They're not just going to put out a product knowing that the seed phrase is the literal key to your crypto. So like if you go look at my video, just type in like Tangem wallet, no screen on YouTube. I basically cover all the security features of the Tangem app that really prevent anyone from seeing your seed phrase. There's no malware that is known to affect the Tangem app. Same with like the key logging and stuff. None of that affects the Tangem app. For example, in that video, I actually screen record my Tangem wallet setup where it shows the seed phrase on the screen. And then in the video, I actually go and play back the video and show you when you play back the video, the screen is actually blank. There is no seed phrase in the video. And that's just one example of the security features that Tangem has implemented, knowing that the seed phrase is the most important thing, and we need to protect it at all costs. So yeah, I mean, people can FUD it all they want. Facts are facts. Wallets with screens that don't display your seed phrase on your computer or your phone have been hacked in the past, such as the Trezor Model 1 wallet with a screen, seed phrase only displayed on the Trezor device, yet the wallet was compromised in the past. So yeah, I mean, there's always going to be FUD on the internet. I'm also not saying Tangem is perfect. I don't think a perfect wallet exists, but you kind of just have to go off of the facts. You have to go off of reputation and things in the past. Also, like compromises and vulnerabilities are just part of cybersecurity. They're going to happen. I don't want to say you want them to happen, but it is necessary to find new vulnerabilities and things like that to basically keep the product secure. The main goal with any security company is to limit the blast zone, if you will. So if something bad does go wrong, ensure that it affects the smallest amount of users as possible. That's really the goal of most cybersecurity companies, because again, security is constantly advancing. It's not a destination; it's a journey. You don't just wake up tomorrow and say, "Okay, we created the perfect unhackable wallet that'll never be hacked." Maybe for that one day it is, but then the next day you wake up and it could be compromised. So that's why it's so important that these companies do use things like bug bounty programs, which encourage white hat hackers and security experts to try to find vulnerabilities in the software. And the incentive is like the company will reward them a cash prize if they find something. And that's why they have security audits done. And that's why companies like Ledger have internal security teams who literally work day and night just trying to hack their own wallets and trying to hack other wallets to find vulnerabilities. So yeah, that's my long kind of spiel on like no wallet will ever be perfect. But I just like to look at the facts. And if you look at the facts, you can pretty easily cut through the FUD. Alex and Jay says, any thoughts on Hashpack wallet app? No, because I don't know what that is. I will say if it's an app-based wallet, it sounds like it's a hot wallet. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that you do not want to store your crypto in a hot wallet or a software-based wallet app, because the keys that are used to manage and control your crypto are stored in the software on the application on your internet-connected device, which could be compromised if you have some kind of spyware or malware on your internet-connected device. So, Kroll says, dude needs content besides Tangem. Definitely post a lot of content aside from Tangem. That said, if you don't like it, no one's forcing you to be here. So yeah, no worries there. Joe T says, sorry you missed my question. It's okay. Joe, I definitely, I'm scrolling back right now and I'm going back to the beginning, Joe, and you never posted, from what I can see, Joe, you didn't post any questions. So if you have a question, you might want to try posting it again. I don't really skip questions. Unless it's something like inappropriate or something, I don't skip it. And if it's a question I don't have an answer to or I don't know, then I'll still bring it up on screen and tell you I don't know. I don't generally skip questions. So, Fran says updates via Play Store. If you're talking about updating the Tangem app, exactly, that's how you would update it if you're using an Android mobile device. Tangem swap is so expensive. Why they charge so much than normal? I think this maybe depends on what crypto you're swapping, because I compared swapping crypto in the Tangem app to swapping it on Kraken, and the rate was within a few cents of each other. Now, if you're talking about buying and selling on Tangem, yes, it is more expensive, and it's because they use third-party providers that basically charge an additional convenience fee. not a big deal. You just send to an exchange and buy or sell there. However, in my experience, the swap feature is comparable to any other crypto exchange. Tab says, is there a limit for a swap or sell your crypto in Tangem? So there are limits. That's a really good question. But it just depends on so much. It depends on the crypto you're swapping, probably depends on where you live, because when you swap crypto or sell crypto through Tangem, you're still signing up on a crypto exchange account. So you'll still have to go through KYC in most cases. And these exchanges are going to have limits that are usually around $10,000 to $25,000. That said, some swaps that occur in Tangem use a decentralized exchange. And if you use a decentralized exchange, there's no limit to how much you can swap because it's decentralized. It's not controlled by a centralized entity. So yeah, that said, if you want higher buy, sell, and swap fees, just use a crypto exchange. If you've gone through all the KYC steps there and you've done all the verification that is required, then your limits could be upwards of $1 million to $10 million per day. So, and I don't think anyone, unless you're Satoshi himself or Michael Saylor, is really swapping those amounts. Jerky Boy 2 says 527. That's the current version of the Tangem app. 528 is the updates that are coming out next week that I covered in this live stream. By the way, if you missed those updates, just replay the first 5 minutes of this live stream once it's over, and you'll know exactly what updates to expect in 5.28 coming out next week. Patrick says, hello, in my Tangem app, all. Okay. Benga says, need Cardano staking. Like I mentioned, that is coming eventually. Here we go. Patrick says, in my Tangem app, all the coin logos are shown correctly, but Tether and USDC logos are not shown correctly. It is a circle with a plus in it. My app is up to date. What might be the problem? It could just be an API connection issue with the network, or maybe with Tangem's like API communicating with the blockchain. I would check in your app if there's on the token page, the main page that shows all the tokens, if there's a bar or like a button that says you need to basically, I forget what it says, but there will be a button there that has you scan your card to basically reactivate or reconnect those networks. And you'll see it there. It'll be right below the buy, swap, and sell buttons on the main token page when you open up your wallet. I would just double check and see if there's that button there. And if it is, again, just tap it and scan one of your cards, and it should update all your crypto logos. Let's see. See, 6-8 shift. Oh wait, skip this one. 6-8 shift. Bought a Tangem a few months back. It was limited edition cherry blossom. I'm now getting a bill from FedEx for $43. Tangem box stated it was assembled in China. Is this normal? Yes, Tangem wallets are manufactured in China. They have warehouses all around the world, including the US, I think Switzerland. But yeah, as far as the FedEx bill, I keep hearing about that. I've never received one. I don't know if that's something you have to pay. I don't really have any information on that. Like what happens if you don't pay it, right? You've already received the product. I'm not recommending you do that. I'm just saying it seems kind of fishy, because I received the Solana Seeker and other wallets these past couple months, and I haven't received any bills from FedEx. And to answer your question, other people have reported receiving this bill. So yeah. Yeah, exactly what Kevin's saying. You need to be very diligent, make sure it's legit and not a scam. But I would still research this a little more. But yeah, it's not the first time I've heard about this. And then 6-8 Shift says he ordered it from the website. It seems strange. It's not like a fake wallet or anything. Also, when you set up your Tangem wallet in the Tangem app, it would pop up a warning sign if it were a fake wallet. So as long as it has you create a new wallet and there are no like warning signs about the card, then you can at least feel safe knowing that you're using an official Tangem app. As far as the FedEx bill, that's completely separate, and it's just not something I have personal experience with. But I would definitely do some research and find out what that's about. Paye, maybe I'm saying that right. Says I have 3 Tangem cards at home, but have not started using them yet. If you have below a couple of 100,000, you have insurance on the biggest exchanges anyways. So why use cold storage? A couple of things. So exchanges, their insurances are kind of, I don't know. History has proven they're not really that helpful, which I'll get to in a second. But the main reason being is if you hold your crypto on a crypto exchange, number one, they're custodial wallets, meaning the exchange owns the keys to your wallet. You don't actually own the crypto. And that's exactly why they can freeze your funds and lock your account for really any reason. It could be because the coins you use have been involved in some kind of suspicious activity, or the system that they're using notices something weird about your account, like you're using a new device or you're using a VPN. Doesn't really matter. They have control of your crypto and they can freeze your funds and lock your account. Second reason is that crypto exchanges are heavily targeted by hackers. Since 2011, several dozens of crypto exchanges have been hacked. A lot of crypto exchanges use hot wallets to store a certain amount of users' funds, the ones that are used for daily trades. And those hot wallets are prone to the same kind of vulnerabilities that we're prone to if we use a hot wallet. And then regarding the insurance, even if there is insurance on your crypto and let's say the exchange got hacked or something, or they shut down, it could take several years, and it has in the past, to ever see that crypto again. So I guess if you're okay with waiting several years to potentially get your crypto back if something does happen, and then miss out on opportunities to sell, and that's a risk you want to take, then you can go ahead and do that. I will personally never store my crypto in a crypto exchange. It also defeats the purpose kind of crypto, which is decentralization, being your own bank, being in control of your money. You may as well just put your crypto back into cash and stash it away back in a bank if that's what you want to do. But CC is saying, I just got my new wallet this week. Took me a few hours to set up as it kept giving me a NFC error. Support is saying I have to send them a video. Should I delete and try to add again? So it sounds like you weren't even able to set up the wallet, if I'm understanding correctly. So yeah, I would definitely try a few things. Make sure your phone's firmware is up to date. Also check that your phone has full NFC support. Just Google your phone model and say, does this model have NFC support? But it sounds like it might, assuming you've already downloaded the Tangem app. The NFC error, I would also Google where your NFC antenna is on your phone. Like, for example, I set up my Tangem wallet on my new Solana Seeker phone because I wanted to see if I could. And it is super sensitive. You have to get the card actually right here on this rectangle is where the antenna seems to be. And so if I don't put the card like right like this, then it gives me an error. So you can Google where the NFC is located on your specific model of phone. And and then try uninstalling and reinstalling the Tangem app, along with staying in contact with Tangem support. And I think all those things together, hopefully you'll be able to come to a solution. That said, when you are talking to anyone, support or anything, just make sure you're not sharing any personal information. Obviously, don't send them a video of you like setting up your seed phrase or anything like that. Just want to make that clear. It's okay to send them a video of anything else. Just make sure your seed phrase isn't displayed on the video when you send it to them. This is like what I mentioned earlier. Kevin said he wouldn't pay that FedEx bill if you already have the product in hand. It wouldn't have been delivered if duty was owed. And that's kind of what I'm saying. It just seems, seems weird. Lena Ray says, when does a 72-hour hold on Kraken stop? Already bought some crypto and thought after the first hold there wouldn't be any more. I'm just nervous leaving it on the exchange. So Lena, are you saying that you have another 72-hour hold, or what's? I would need some clarification there. For me, it was a one-time thing. I bought crypto on Kraken. After 72 hours, I was able to transfer externally to my cold wallet, and I've never had to have a hold again. If you're constantly getting holds, I would reach out to Kraken support and ask them how what you need to do to basically get them to not always hold your crypto. Usually, it's just further verification. This will also give you higher withdrawal limits and things like that. So like I went through, I think there's like 3 levels of verification. The more levels you go through, the less that they basically, put these holds on your accounts and things like that. However, this is still that first 72-hour hold. Like I mentioned, I think on the last live stream, it should just be a temporary thing, and then you'll be good after this first one. MG Gaming says, I'm waiting for Tangem Pay. Like I said, Tangem Pay is set to come out at the end of the year, only in Europe and the UK. If you're in the US waiting for it, you're going to be waiting a long time. That said, if you're waiting for Tangem Pay before you put your crypto in a cold wallet, I don't suggest doing that. I still recommend getting a cold wallet now and then setting up Tangem Pay later, because Tangem Pay will work with all your wallets, Tangem, Ledger, Trezor, MetaMask, whatever it is. You'll be able to use Tangem Pay. So don't wait to get your crypto in cold storage. Not saying that's what you're doing. I just want to make that clear. Body Freedom USA says, I got myself another set of Tangem cards with your code. Since I don't have a computer yet, they're super easy to use. Your videos make it simple to understand for a starter. Super happy to hear that, Bobby Freedom, and thank you for sharing that. That's the kind of feedback that I like to hear, just to know that I'm on the right track when I make tutorial videos. Shoaib says, how can I buy 2 sets, 1 black card and 1 colored set? There's no option of 2 different color sets together. You can't mix and match colors. You'll just have to buy 1 set of black cards and 1 set of the colored cards. You can't like mix and match them. KNBA says, does Tangem work and support Cake Wallet, and can you do a full video on setup, privacy benefits, etc.? You can't connect your Tangem wallet to any other crypto wallet. No. Nope, that's not something you can do. Seth Shepard says, don't have questions. Just wanted to say thanks for creating a channel like this. I appreciate you saying that, Seth, and no worries if you don't have questions. That was very nice of you to hop on here and say, so thank you. 68 Shift says, thank you for answering these questions. I appreciate your content. Happy to help. Thank you for the good questions. Jonathan says, do not keep it on exchanges ever. Exactly. I feel like the people who keep their crypto on exchanges haven't experienced the downsides of doing that. When your crypto is finally frozen for a long period of time, or when they lock your account, that's when you're like, shoot, I should have put my crypto in cold storage, or worse, the exchange get hacks or goes out of business. That's when, in most cases, it's already too late. Exactly what I'm talking about, Brian. I can sum up why you should not have too much crypto on a hot wallet in 3 letters, FTX. A hot wallet is different than an exchange, just to be clear. A hot wallet is still a self-custodial wallet, so you actually own the keys to your hot wallet. They're just not secure. But yeah, crypto exchanges are custodial wallets. That's exactly why you shouldn't. If you don't know about the FTX story, just type it in on YouTube, and there's a good documentary about what happened with FTX. Samsung Apple says, if Tangem onboards Cardano for staking, would we be able to stake our ADA coins while at the same time storing our ADA coins on Tangem? I mean, yes and no. They'll still be technically controlled by your Tangem wallet address, but depending on how staking works with Cardano, I'm not too familiar with it. But usually when you stake crypto, you're locking it in a contract. So it's locked into a contract. So it's still associated with your Tangem wallet address. It's not necessarily in your possession because it is locked up in a staking contract. That said, when you unstake it, you would obviously get it back. And that's one of the risks of staking. If you haven't seen my video, How to Stake Crypto, Samsung, Apple, in that video, I go over how staking works and the risks of doing it, where I explain it a little better. MK Thord says, can you make a video about the Solana Seeker phone? Again, I will make a video once I use it for a bit. I don't want to come out with a video the day after I get the phone because I haven't fully experienced it yet. So give me, just give me a bit and I'll have that review out. Donna says, hi there. If you store all your crypto in the cold wallet, from where are you taking your profit? Donna, crypto isn't actually stored in wallets or on exchanges. Crypto only exists in one place. That's on the blockchain. So simply using a wallet to secure your crypto doesn't change how you take profit. All crypto wallets are ways to generate, manage, and store the keys that are used to access your crypto accounts on the blockchain. So simply moving it right to a cold wallet doesn't change how you take profit. If the price of your crypto still goes up. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for joining the live stream. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out and